Today on the Trent Out Loud show, Young Thug, you have some damn nerve calling somebody else ugly. Yeah, I said it. Diddy, I know how it feels to be sitting in jail. I know it's horrible, bro, but this is a little pathetic. I know world leaders sometimes beef with other world leaders, but Donald Trump just picked a fight with China, North Korea, Russia, and India on True Social. What up? It's Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. All right, depending what time zone you're in, it's Thursday night, but for some of y'all, it's Friday! All right, let me just take it out. Yo, let's go! Woo! Friday felt like it came in 2 seconds, man. An extra short week for me. All right, y'all, I'm in a great mood, as you can see. I got a good show set up for you guys today. I have 2 lead stories. We're going to kick it off by talking about Diddy being so desperate that he is now relying on the dictionary to try and get out of jail. Also, Donald Trump makes a huge mistake with world leaders. In quick news, we're going to talk about Angel Reese, Amazon Prime, Taylor Swift, Kendrick Lamar, Cardi B, Tyrese, R.Kelly, Latto, Ice Spice, Julia Garner, Madonna, the NBA, Drake, and Giorgio Armani in sad news. As always, we're going to close out the show with comments of the day, social discussion of the day, and question of the day. Y'all know what time it is. Turn your TVs, radio, your devices up. Yeah, I'm about to start this show. Let's go. Our first lead story. Diddy believes prosecutors used the wrong definition of prostitution in his case. Says they should have used the one from 1910. Wants a new trial or to be acquitted. A prostitute was a woman who had sex outside of marriage. All right. Y'all know that I have been very transparent with you guys. After the days and days I spent in that trial, I do believe Diddy should be let out and he should not be in jail right now for the Mann Act. Yes, I know some of you are happy that he's still in jail and you think that he deserves to be in jail, but that's really because of Cassie and things that you think that he did. With the things that he has proven to be guilty of, my opinion, he should not be in jail, and that is transporting prostitutes from one state to another state. I don't think anybody should be in jail for that. However, having said all of that, this is a stretch. This is a stretch and a very interesting way for Diddy to try to get out of jail. It kind of smells a little like desperation. But, all jokes aside, my experience in law, which is pretty vast, I have seen people get off on lesser things. You'd be shocked on what people can get acquitted for or let out of jail for minor, simple things like being a little bit extra here, but a comma somewhere or a dot. I have seen people get out of contracts or clauses to get out of things. So, sitting down in that courtroom every day and watching Nicole Westmoreland, Brian Steele, Mark Ignifilo, Tenny Garagos, they are brilliant lawyers. So if they're coming up with this, although it does seem a little desperate, what's the title of this year? Diddy is pathetic, as we have our line as our title. Like, it does look a little pathetic and it does look a little desperate. But if you've ever been in jail, you would much rather look pathetic than to be spending even one day in jail. Trust on that, all right? I'll give you some more details. Diddy and his legal team are still working overtime to try to better his legal situation, and now they're having a new twist, and now they're trying a new twist. According to TMZ, Diddy is clapping back at federal prosecutors after his conviction wasn't thrown out. He previously was found guilty on 2 counts of transporting people for the purpose of prostitution under the Mann Act. New legal documents show that Diddy's legal team is attempting to have the judge change a conviction to an acquittal or at least give him a whole new trial. In the documents, they claim that the prosecutors used a modern definition of prostitution and that they never proved he paid male escorts to have sex with his lady lovers. Diddy says the men were paid for their time, not sex, and that he's nothing more than a voyeur. We heard that last line already. Trying to say, oh, they were only paid for their time. Stop it. You know what I mean? Stop it. And, saying that he was just a voyeur, like, we tried this already. As for the definition of prostitution, they want the judge to use the 1910 definition, which describes a prostitute as a woman who had sex outside of marriage, not sex for hire. Like I said, it's a stretch, but if you really think about it, if the law was constructed in 1910 and in 1910 or during 1910, the definition of that word was just that, which is a woman who had sex outside of marriage, do these male escorts fall under that terminology? Now, I would challenge the lawyers to show inside of the actual sentencing or the actual law, sorry, not the sentencing, but inside of the law of the Mann Act, do they give the definition of the word prostitution or do they just say prostitution? That would be my question if I was the prosecution or the judge. We'll see what comes of this. I heard that it was already submitted. We'll stay up to date with this and find out what the judge says. If it is denied, I'm sure this will probably be the last request. As you guys know, the sentencing is coming up October the 3rd. We will be in New York a couple of days early, setting up, just getting everything ready, and we will be there in a courtroom covering it live for you. Not too sure of my predictions yet. The way how the judge is going, I feel like he might give him some more time and not actually just let him out with time served. But I think the right thing to do would be to let him out on time served. And the last couple of months of not letting him out before is just the judge's way of being like, look, you beat the RICO, you did all this, but we did hear some things and we did see that videotape, but now, I quieted you down. Everybody was ready for you to get out. You sat down for a couple of more months. I hope you learned your lesson. October the 3rd, sentencing. Go ahead on time served. I personally think that would be the right thing to do. Why keep him in there for another 2, 3, 4 months, 5 months? It's not going to change him. Jail is for rehabilitation. The lessons that Diddy has learned, I feel like he's already learned them. So to say you're going to keep him in there for another 6 months or another year, I think it would be a stretch. Just my opinion. You guys sound off below in the comment section. Our second lead story. You plotting on me? Donald Trump gives warmest regards while accusing leaders of China, Russia, and North Korea of gathering at Beijing's military parade to conspire against the USA. All right. On Tuesday evening, September the 2nd, President Donald Trump took to his Truth Social platform to write an open letter to China's leader. In a statement, he also name-dropped Russia's leader Vladimir Putin and North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un. While giving his warmest regards to the leaders of the three nations, Trump issued his pleasantries with a twist. In the very same breath, he accused the three men of conspiring against the United States of America. He alleged that the trio did so as they gathered at a massive military parade being hosted in Beijing on Wednesday, September the 3rd. All right, I know I joke around sometimes about Trump or about politics or whatever, but I honestly think that this is really not even funny to be joking around about. If Joe Biden would have done something like this first of all, in a tweet or on True Social, it would have been nuts. But for him to say he wants to give them their warmest regards and then say that the three of them, those three countries, are conspiring against the USA. I'm gonna play a video for you, okay, and then I'm gonna play Putin's response, okay. Here is a question they asked to Donald Trump. They says, "Are you concerned about China and Russia growing closer?" Trump said, "No, not at all. China needs us. I have a very good relationship with President Xi, and I had actually a very good meeting with President Putin a few weeks ago." Listen to Trump.
Sir, China's having a massive military parade that President Putin and Kim Jong-un will be attending. Do you interpret that as a challenge to this? And are you concerned at all about those countries trying to be some sort of counterweight?
Not at all. China needs us, and I have a very good relationship with President Xi, as you know.
Okay, this is what he put on True Social. The big question to be answered is whether or not President Xi of China will mention the massive amount of support and blood that the United States of America gave to China in order to help them secure its freedom from a very unfriendly foreign invader. Many Americans were unalived in China's quest for victory and glory. I hope that they are rightfully honored and remembered for their bravery and sacrifice. May President Xi and the wonderful people of China have a great and lasting day of celebration. Please give my warmest regards to Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un as you conspire against the United States of America. President Donald J. Trump. Why would you end your tweet like that? I know it's not a tweet, but why would you end your True Social like that? What, like, this is, look, remember last week when we didn't know what was happening to him and he went away for 4 days and the bruising or whatever? To me, this is a sign of some mental acuity or some mental breakdown or some sort of dementia that you can't say these things. This is crazy. That last sentence is crazy. Listen to what Vladimir Putin said. I won't play the whole thing, but one thing he said was, Putin on Trump's post about Russia, China, and North Korea, he said, the U.S. president isn't without a sense of humor. And then he went on to say this. Take a listen.
They have to realize that they cannot use this tone in speaking with their partners.
Yo, you don't want world leaders to be talking at press conferences saying, hey, we got to be careful about the U.S.'s tone. You shouldn't use those tone when talking to people. Anyways, man. Look, y'all know I call it like I see it. It's a purple podcast. I ain't Republican or ain't Democrat. But the past couple of weeks, the moves that Trump has been making has been just horrible. Yesterday, calling the Epstein file a hoax after the victims and the survivors go up and have a press conference and you could literally see them. They're physically there. You see them in the Capitol Hill. And then a couple of hours later, you're like, this is a Democratic hoax. This is, to me, unforgivable. Just that alone. And that was just yesterday. And now this, man, again, I'm not on anybody's side here, but anybody who voted for Trump, I hope that you are at least holding him accountable for the things that he's doing recently. Y'all sound off in the comment section below and let me know what you think about President Donald J. Trump. All right, this brings us to quick news. Ring my bell. Our first quick story. Suspended. Angel Reese has been suspended 1 game for her 8th technical foul. All right, Angel Reese has been assessed her 8th technical foul of the season after making contact with Aaliyah Edwards' head. She will be suspended for Friday's game versus the Indiana Fever unless it's rescinded by the WNBA. Okay, I'm not even going to play the video for, copyright reasons. I'll have to put music behind it and stuff. But the technical foul was a technical foul. Could it have been a little bit overlooked? Maybe. Does she deserve to be suspended for the whole game? Look, the laws are the laws, or the rules are the rules. I think it's bad for the WNBA. Everybody wants to see Caitlin and Angel play. But, I y'all know I'm a big Angel Reese fan, so I'm more upset with her about something else that she said. So I'm going to move on to that. But I'm on the fence about this because I think this is the second time this month that I'm like, Angel, I got your back, but you're starting to do some questionable things now. More importantly, Angel Reese's teammates are unhappy with her remarks about the Chicago Sky. Angel Reese's teammates are unhappy about comments she made about Chicago Sky in the direction of the franchise. She said, "I'm not settling for the same ish we did this year. Angel wants the Sky to bring in more talent during free agency. I'd like to be here for my entire career, but if things don't pan out, obviously I might have to move in a different direction and do what's best for me." Angel on her future with the Sky. She says, we have good players. We have to get good players. We have to get great players. That's a non-negotiable for me. Then the team said, we are aware of it. We are addressing it in-house and are currently speaking. That's all we're going to say for right now. And that was the head coach, Tyler Marsh, about Angel Reese's comments. I did see a video. I don't know why I don't have it, but Angel didn't really apologize for her comments, but she said something along the lines of, I have to do better because when I say things, it's amplified a lot more, and I have to be careful of how I say things. Now, again, super big Angel Reese fan, but there has been players who have voiced stuff about their teammates, i.e. Kobe Bryant, who is probably my favorite basketball player ever of all times after Michael Jordan. But there's a time and a place to do it, and you have to be strategic about it. And, you know, Kobe has gone on record to saying that he'll say it as strategically at a strategic time. I just don't think now is the time. You guys are in the middle of the season. You're still playing. These are still your teammates. Now is not the time, in my opinion. If the season is over, in an interview or something, you're like, all right, guys, we wrapped up. Like, there's a way to do it. And not only timing is important, but I have this old saying that I always keep in my head. No matter what you say to somebody, you got to put it in there like a sandwich. So, yes, I know I say sandwich with a G, so don't even put that in the comment section. I know it's sandwich. People have been making fun of that for years. Anyways, you got to put it in like a sandwich. You give them a compliment, it's the bread. You put the meat in there, and that's the thing that is, you know, might be a little hard to hear. And then you end it off with another piece of bread, and it's a compliment. So you're not just giving somebody meat, you're giving them, you know, some good and some bad. And from what I've heard, she didn't say that. So I'm a little disappointed in Angel. I know it's, you know, she's still new, she's still young, and she's a rookie, and she wants to win. And that's the grace I'm giving her, because I know how much of a competitor, and, you know, she was a champion in college, and she wants to put the WNBA on her back. That's what she wants. She wants to be a leader. She wants to be the best. She wants to change the way the WNBA is looked upon. She wants to change the salary, and she doesn't want to do it for herself. She wants to do it for all female players. I get all of that. It's just a time and a place and a little thing called tact. So still a fan, still love you, Angel, but you know, just tread lightly a little bit. All right. Let me know what you guys think about Angel in the comment section below. Our second quick story. Amazon Prime members will no longer be able to get shipments outside their home address. All right, I want to put this in here for any Amazon Prime members, which I'm sure a lot of you are. Starting October the 1st, Prime members can no longer share free shipping with friends or family outside their home. The Prime Invite program is ending, and Amazon will now only allow sharing through Amazon Family, but everyone has to live at the same address. I talked to a couple of people about this, and they're like, wow, I didn't even know this was a thing. I think this is going to be like more of like I didn't even know this existed, bring it back, than, you know, them taking it away. I mean, I'm sure they did reports and they know what they were doing, but if I were them, I probably wouldn't have taken this away. Trust me, a lot of people didn't even know. Sound off below and let me know if you've ever knew about this program. Our third quick story. Roger Goodell was asked about a potential Taylor Swift halftime show. Roger Goodell is the general manager. No, what's his? I'm sure that might tell us in here. Commissioner of the NFL. Taylor Swift's name is once again in the mix for the Super Bowl halftime show, and this time the NFL commissioner isn't denying it. When asked about the possibility on Today, I guess the Today Show, Roger Goodell called Swift a special talent and said she would be welcome anytime. When pressed further, he admitted her appearance at the Super Bowl 60 is a maybe. Goodell added that the final call rests with Jay-Z and Rock Nation, which produces the halftime shows. Goodell also addressed other fan favorite topics, moving the game to President's Day weekend to align with a Monday holiday. He said it is possible that the league eventually will expand to an 18-game regular season, calling the idea a great move. I don't know what that Monday thing is. I'll have to look into it. But look, I am not a Taylor Swift fan. I've said that to you guys a bunch of times. I don't even know a Taylor Swift song. But let's look, I can't lie. She's huge, right? She's arguably even a bigger star than Beyonce. So would it make sense? Yes. Would it be great for the NFL? Yes. Would it be horrible for me? Yes. I look so forward to the halftime shows since Jay-Z has been producing it in Rock Nation. Of course, it's been amazing. It's been hip hop, it's been R&B, it's been the genres of music I listen to, I wouldn't even mind like rock bands, right? There's a lot of great rock and roll bands or even country. But yeah, Taylor Swift, like I wouldn't know what to even be excited for, but I get it. So we'll see. I think we actually even talked yesterday about it could potentially be Cardi B. We shall see. Sound off below. Who do you guys want to see at this year's Super Bowl halftime show? Our fourth quick story. Kendrick Lamar has lost 1 billion streams while Drake's numbers stayed the same. Spotify has also announced they're doing another bot purge after doing multiple this year. Notice how everyone's numbers stays relatively the same, and only one artist is decreasing. Okay, I'm not trying to start a Kendrick and Drake thing. I try my hardest not to talk about this. Even Drake's court case, I try not to talk about. But I did hear that the Spotify offices were raided in Turkey this week because there's a lot of artists out there that they're saying that there's a lot of payola and bribery that's happening for streams and placement on playlists. That's the same thing that Drake is alluding to out here. So this has not been a big story. I don't know if the major music companies are, maybe paying off blogs or paying off some media to be like, please don't cover this. But in the underground, in the YouTube world, a lot of YouTubers are talking about it. We can't be paid off, we're the new media. But again, Drake has alluded to the fact that Universal paid for a lot of bots and a lot of streams. And if Kendrick Lamar, and I'll zoom in here, I'll put this a little closer. If you could see here that Kendrick Lamar in February was at 1.7 billion streams. And now you do bot purging of Spotify because they know this court case is coming up and they know this thing that happened in Turkey. And now all of a sudden Kendrick is down to the number 3 spot with only 700 million and he lost 1 billion streams. Things are going to start getting really real quick, So we'll see. Like I said, this is not a Kendrick and Drake thing. This is more even a Universal Music thing. Of course, brought up by Drake, because he feels that Universal was trying to undermine him and give him a smaller contract. So we'll see how this all plays out. Our fifth quick story. Cardi B shares why it took so long for her to release her sophomore album. All right, Cardi B sat down with Billboard, and I'm going to play this video for you. I'm going to have to bleep so much of it. I'm sure you'll be able to get the context of her analogy of why she took so long. But after the video, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a recap of the interview. Take a listen. Cardi B's crazy, y'all. Anyways, like I said, I watched the 45-minute interview. Give you guys a little bit of a recap. During the interview, she talked about having one classic album and that not being an excuse for her not to put out a second album. The interviewer asked her, you could have just been like Lauryn Hill and just walk away with that one classic album. And she said she doesn't see it like that, and she wants to continue making more classic albums. She said she did 60 songs over the past 7 years, and on the album, we're going to get 21. For me, being in the music industry 10 years, this is the lowest amount I've ever seen an artist record, especially in hip-hop. I mean, you've heard Tupac Shakur say, yo, he made 3-4 songs a day, and, I was going to say Biggie, but Biggie wasn't known to record a lot. But the majority of artists, they record. So after 7 years, I'm surprised she only has 60 songs, but she says that's what she's done. They asked her if hip-hop needs competition. She kind of didn't answer the question really, and she kind of skated around it, but alluded to the fact of yes, that's what hip-hop is really about. And by the way, for those who want to see it, don't expect an in-depth kind of interview. You know Cardi style. She's funny. She's joking around. She does give you some kind of gems here or there. I prefer the kind of sit down, intuitive, let me get in your head, let me really do a deep dive, but this is not it. She says, how does it feel to be in, this was a question they asked her. How does it feel to be in the big three of female hip hop and only have one album and a couple of singles? So Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, and Megan Thee Stallion, that alone is up for argument because there's a lot of people that say Megan Thee Stallion should be replaced with Glorilla. And that's what I think too. Now, presently, not of all times, but big three, like how you have Kendrick, Drake, and Cole. The big three of female is Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, and Glorilla. Shout out to Meg. I love Megan Thee Stallion, but I think Glow should be in there. But he asked her that. And to my opinion, again, she didn't, give the real answer. My opinion on how she's been able to do that is Cardi understands that she's bigger than music, and Cardi understands that she can make more money and be more beneficial to the culture with her personality. Does she make great music? Yes, but Nicki Minaj is way more of a hip hop technical artist, writing rhymes, metaphors, just lyrically, et cetera, from a musical standpoint. But what Cardi has is she's more universal. So her putting out, a couple of singles and a couple of features over the past 7 years will keep her name up there in the big three, and it will arguably keep her up there longer because she has less music and less product for us to critique. I'll use a quick example of, let's say, Biggie. Biggie's looked at as, one of the greatest hip hop artists ever of all time. He has 2 albums, right? If Biggie was around for the past 20 years, if he would have had some flops, if he would have fallen off, who knows if he would have said that. Same thing like Tupac. Tupac's a little bit different though because he has more albums. But, the fact that Cardi keeps herself scarce, to me, I think is the brilliance of her career. She says that she could have rushed and put out multiple albums and asked her record label Atlantic to give her another $100 million contract, but she would rather make greatness, which I thought was really insightful. Again, don't necessarily believe that, because if she would have put out, let's say her contract is 4 albums or probably a 5-album deal. If she would have put out, the second album, it doesn't do so well. The third album, it kind of flops. And the fourth album, it tanks. Then they don't even renegotiate with her. And now she's left without a contract. So she's going to, in the whole interview, she was more alluding to the fact that, she loves to be in the studio and she loves to make greatness, and it's got to be great and it's got to be the best, and the music. And she puts all of this work into her music. Because if that's the case, then you would have way more than 60 songs. Trust me, I've worked with a ton of musical artists, And if you are in 7 years and you are such a perfectionist, you'd have 300 songs. So again, like I said, the brilliance of Cardi is using her IG live, using her life, using her children, using Offset, using the divorce and all of that stuff and features to make a ton of money without putting yourself out at risk. I'm giving you what she said and then also my opinion of what she said. She says that, what is this? I had to put sorry, can't even read my own writing. I had to put a something into my music. Oh, she said I had to put pain. She had to put my pain into her music. This thing that she's going off with Offset, et cetera, et cetera. So she had to go through a lot of pain in her life. So she's put that into this album. Again, every artist is going to tell you that so that you feel like they're giving you something and you got to listen to it to get some more out of it. But I think that's a little bit true, though, because, Cardi does go through some ish. She talked about her tour. She alluded to the fact that she will be going on tour. She says that when she goes out, it will be nothing like we've ever seen. No stage shows, no award shows. She said, for an award show, I practiced 2 weeks. But for my tour, I'm really going in. Guess what she said? I'm going to practice and rehearse for a month. It's like, when you listen, the saying is like, somebody will tell you who they are. You just have to listen. So it's like, of course, your tour is going to be good. But if you practice for a week or 2 weeks for the Grammys and you're going to go on a world tour, the answer should be, or the statement should be, yo, I'm going to practice for 3 or 4 months before I go out. Cardi said, yo, I'm practicing for a month. You got to love Cardi, man. She said that she's always been in long relationships and she's not really a dating person, which I found was a little bit insightful. I never knew that about her, so I love that part of the interview. I love when the people who, we only get to see from time to time tell us things like this. So she was talking about the fact of just Offset and just her life and now being with Stephon Diggs and after her divorce, and that she loves Stephon Diggs. That's the last thing I have here as a note. And she said she's in love with Stephon Diggs. And she's alluding to the fact that since she was 21, she doesn't really like dating or hasn't done that much dating. And she's more of a relationship girly girl. So that's really about it. That's the gist of the interview. It's on Billboard if you want to check it out. But if not, I just give you a summary. Let me know what y'all think about Cardi B. And if you're excited for her album, Am I the Drama? Our sixth quick story. Tyrese says the king of R&B is R.Kelly while performing in Chicago. Just going to play this little video here for you. Take a listen.
I know the city I'm in. The king of R&B is R.Kelly.
Yo, I am so sick and tired of hearing people say this about R. Kelly. Like, I can't stand it. This man is in jail, has been convicted in the court of law. We have all seen the tape. He is a disgusting, deplorable human being. This is, this might be a stretch, but this is Jeffrey Epstein. I understand he didn't have an island and he didn't, it's the same crime. I don't care if one was 100 and the other one was just 10, okay? It's disgusting, and nobody is a bigger fan of R&B than me. I've told you guys that repeatedly. As Jamaican as I am and as hip hop as I am, my first love is R&B, then reggae, and then hip hop. And sometimes reggae even more than R&B. But my musical career, I managed R&B artists. I did have some hip hop artists, but I love R&B. I used to love R. Kelly. I don't think there's an R. Kelly album that you could put on that I cannot sing for you from the first track to the last. However, those songs and those lyrics were written for people not of his age, and he's disgusting. That's not a king. He's not a king of nothing. I cannot stand when people still talk like this about R. Kelly, and I hear people in a crowd cheering about it. I think it should be stopped, and I think people should be canceled for saying things like this. Sound off and let me know if you guys agree with me in the comment section below. Our seventh quick story. Y'all here for it? Latto and Ice Spice put their differences aside and release a new song together. All right, here is the cover of their single. Obviously, I can't play it for copyright reasons. I love Latto, like love. Like, she's top 3 of the new girls of this era. I love her. I love everything about her. I love what she stands for. I love how she loves her man. I love how she doesn't try to follow what the industry standards are, and just her. I just love everything about Latto. I love Ice Spice for the fact that she knows that she is not a rapper, and she just uses, that spice flow on her tracks and doesn't try too hard. And lastly, I love the fact that they were beefing pretty openly. They had made tracks about each other, and now they've come together for a song. Now, the 2 things I don't like is I don't like the rollout, how we just were like, hey, I did hear that they put out this post and then the song leaked and they were supposed to wait till Friday. So that's why we got it a little bit earlier. So maybe the rollout was supposed to be that we hear about it Tuesday, hear a little bit more about it Wednesday, and then it comes out Friday. But I just think that they should have used their beef a little bit more to, to make us want a song and then give us a song. I think from a marketing standpoint, if I was doing their marketing, I would have used that more to build this up. The second thing that I'm disappointed is I feel like the song is just okay. Now, I've heard some people say, yo, this is a club banger. You got to hear it in the club. Don't expect too much or whatever. But again, like I said, if this is a B song, if this is something you're just throwing together, but after them having this big whole thing and them coming together, I just feel like I expected more, especially from Latto and Ice. I just feel like it's just, y'all sign off below. Let me know if you've heard it. The video is supposed to be coming out tonight. Now, the video might change things a little bit, but as of now, it's a meh for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Our 8th quick story. Julia Garner confirms role as Madonna in biopic. She said, I can't say too much about it, but yes, it's a work in progress. Okay, I'm really, really excited. Julia Garner. Did I call her Jennifer when I was reading this? Sorry, y'all know my dyslexia sometimes. Julia Garner. Playing Madonna is so exciting for me. I love her in Ozark. Like, oh my gosh. Y'all know I'm a big streaming show fan. I can't tell you how much I love it. I have seen everything from Breaking Bad to Prison Break, like all the classics, Nip Tuck. I don't care how far back you go till now. I challenge you in the comment section to put a show, has to be streaming show, not NBC or NBC. The only thing I've liked on network TV has been like Scandal. But yeah, so streaming platform show. I say all that to say Ozark is up there almost like top, let's go top 10. I could say top 5, but let's not even get into that. And a lot of the reasons is for Julia. I think she's a brilliant actress. And I love Madonna. Madonna is a transcender. She is a groundbreaker. If you don't know about Madonna, then you're missing a chunk of female music, period. Every single female hip hop artist has pulled from Madonna. Every single female rock artist has pulled from Madonna. I would say even country, okay? I.e. Lady Gaga, all right? And she's the one of one. Yes, she maybe pulled little things from Marilyn Monroe or whatever, but she is the original. So she is the icon. So these two people who I'm enamored with coming together for a biopic, woo! I will be in the theaters to see that. And I hope it's in the theaters and not like on an Apple movie or whatever, because this needs to be seen in theaters. Anyways, I'm very excited about this. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys are as excited as I am. Our 9th quick story. NBA investigating reports that Steve Ballmer paid Kawhi Leonard $28 million endorsement, to circumvent the salary cap. All right, get into this, y'all. The NBA is investigating allegations stemming from a report that the Clippers and Steve Ballmer circumvented the league salary cap by paying Kawhi Leonard for a job with no responsibilities. Clippers has denied the allegations. LA Clippers owners Steve Ballmer and Kawhi Leonard allegedly set up a fake and fraudulent LLC company to pay Kawhi an extra $28 million in order to surpass the NBA salary cap and give him and get him to sign with the Clippers. There is a lot going on about this online. I'm sure the NBA is trying to keep this story very, very quiet. Now, from what I've been hearing from a couple of players and agents is that, and this is like kind of like off the record, things like this are not like uncommon, right? Because it's, for those of you who don't know what a salary cap is, it's something that the NBA, NFL, or whatever will do to make sure that you can't spend $1 billion and get the best players in the world, right? Because if that were the case, you just go hire everybody. So to keep it fair, you have to have a salary cap. And of course, just like before the NIL in college, you know, you couldn't pay a college player, but you could give his uncle Alexis, you know what I'm saying? Or like you could give his cousin a house and then the player could maybe move into the. So there's always been things like this going on. The fact that this has been found out is the bigger issue. Here is a quick clip of what's going on. Take a listen.
This is going to be the biggest NBA scandal of all time, maybe in all of sports. And this story is absolutely insane. And surprisingly, it all involves Kawhi Leonard and planting trees. Let me get into this. So Pablo did a little more digging, and he found that Steve Ballmer is a huge investor, about $50 million worth, in this tree planting company called Aspire. Now that company, Aspire, actually went bankrupt, so Pablo looked into their bankruptcy filings to see who they owed to. And the list included the Clippers, the Red Sox, but also this other tiny little company called KL2 Aspire. Now just look at this picture and let me ask you who you think owner of KL2 Aspire is. Kawhi Leonard 2. And if you look at the agreement, it says that the company, Aspiration, is required to pay KL2 $28 million and will pay it $7 million every single year. So if you're not understanding what the hell is going on here, Ballmer allegedly made a fake fraudulent shell company so he'd pay Kawhi Leonard an extra $28 million frickin' dollars to get him on the Clippers in free agency. Not because he doesn't have $28 million, but because there's a salary cap that he can't surpass. So by doing this, basically Kawhi Leonard and Steve Ballmer engaged in fraud.
Kawhi Leonard planting trees, an LLC company. Crazy. This is going to be huge. Not only am I saying that, you just heard that other content creators say that. Huge scandal. We'll see if the NBA could keep this quiet. They're investigating. Trust me, they do not want this to come out. I'll follow up and I'll let you guys know what happens, but stay tuned. Our 10th quick story. Drake says the stream tonight finna be a movie. Said it's his favorite-ish. All right, depending on when you guys see this, it's maybe out or coming out by the time we put this out. But Drake's Iceman stream is streaming at 9 p.m. So you know this is part of Drake's rollout. I would say him and Cardi are probably having like the best rollout for a hip-hop album in a while. Drake is really, really milking this. Good on him to use streaming platforms, to use other streamers. The Bobby interview, although I didn't like it, still, you know, I'm still seeing clips online about it all till today. So good on him for that. We'll see if this time, if we get some more rhymes to a beat that he ended off with last time. That was like a crazy beat, but like no words to it. So we'll see what we get from this. Tune in and we'll talk about it more on the next episode. Are you guys excited for Drake Iceman stream, or do you just want the album? Sound off below. Let me know. In our 11th quick story, Giorgio Armani has passed away at age 91. All right, I'm sure most of you have heard this by now. This happened earlier today, so I'm not going to give you guys a history. And also, too, you guys know who Giorgio Armani is, right? For me, the only thing why this is special to me, weird, but all of my underwears are Giorgio Armani. Like, I don't know why. It's the most comfortable male underwear I've ever worn. I don't know why I said male underwear. It's not like I wear female underwear, but it's just I'm saying for men out there, I have tried different underwear, and when I found Giorgio Armani, it's been my favorite ever. I mean, 10 years, maybe 15 years. And people have tried to like buy me underwears as gifts or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like I throw them all out, or I tell them to return it. I love Giorgio Armani underwears. If you have never tried it, try them right now. I'm not a big fashion label guy. I don't need the Armani, the Gucci, the this or whatever, blah, blah. Like I'm not a big brand guy. I feel like I more make the clothes and I don't need to have labels on me. No shame to anybody out there. When you see these guys sometimes that like walk in with the big like LV on their chest, it's like, bruh, and plus I have a big personality. So I feel like people with a big personality, you don't need a big Giorgio Armani written across your chest. If anything, I like a small little, like a little hit on the chest or like whatever, anyways, I digress. Shout out to Giorgio Armani, leader. I actually have a Giorgio Armani suit. Do I have a Giorgio Armani suit? I think I have a Tom Ford suit. Anyways, suit is the only thing brand I'll do because you never know that what the brand is. It's not written on the suit. So brand suits I will do, but anything else, no. Anyways, enough about me. Rest in peace to Giorgio Armani. Let me know if you guys have any Armani pieces and if this brand has ever affected you. Let me know in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to social discussion and comments of the day. But before I do, I have something to ask you guys. Is your computer, laptop, cell phone vulnerable to data breaches? Well, let me answer that question for you. Yes, they are. If you are not using Aura, the all-in-one digital security platform, go to my sponsor below, aura.com/trend out loud to get your 14-day free trial to see if any of your data has already been exposed. If you're ever wondering how scammers get your phone number or why your inbox is filled with spam, here is why. There are companies called data brokers that sell your data and they do it without your consent and they make billions selling it to marketers, scammers, and even stalkers. That is why I recommend today's sponsor, Aura, to my family, friends, and out louders. Aura takes care of the hard part for you, automatically removing your information off of these sites and keeping it off. And what I mean by information, social security number, credit card, banking, cell phone, address. You've ever shopped online, your stuff is still out there. Aura could take it off for you and keep it off and make sure it doesn't get into the hands of these bad actors. With Aura, you get alerts if any of your personal data is ever found on the dark web, real-time fraud alerts for credit card and banking information, a secure VPN, antivirus, password manager, and they have 24/7 US-based customer service. They also offer a $5 million identity theft insurance protection package. If anything does go wrong, you are covered. Aura is the leader, number one in the industry. I trust them. My family trusts them. Trust them. All right. For those of you who have never heard of Aura, they used to be the jersey logo for the Minnesota Timberwolves, just showing you that they've even partnered up with the NBA. There's a lot of things out here. There's a lot of sometimes brands out here that say, hey, we're the leader, we're the best. And like, well, who have they worked with? Well, Aura has worked with the NBA, and that's what got my attention. And it should get yours. Here is the QR code right beside me or the link below. All right. Make sure y'all sign up. All right. Let's get to some comments. I wanted to give some shout outs to some people that just say, hey, every time I end the show, I'm like, if you guys don't want to get into the conversation, that's fine. Just say, hey, and let me know where you are watching from, because this is a global podcast and I love to see which country or city you guys are watching from. So, you guys know I'm very, very bad with names, but I think it's Eline says, hey, I'm watching from England. Shout out to England. And Mary Ellen Wood says, hey, Trent, what up? All right. Thank you guys for those comments. Mary Ellen, next time, please let me know where you're from. But what's up? Also here, Jane said, love your show, your energy, and just looking at you makes my day. Yo, Jane. Shout out to that comment, man. Thank you very, very much, man. I appreciate that. All right. Two more comments. Barbara says, hi, Trent. Still and always a pleasure to watch your videos and hear your analysis. Cardi B was absolutely right to do that. I will be very upset too if it was me, and believe me, it's not a pen that I'll be sending this guy. From France, well, heart emojis with hand heart emojis from France with respect and love. Barbara, thank you very, very much for that. And thank you for saying that it is a pleasure to watch my videos and analysis. Appreciate that. Shyla Custom Design. Again, I'm very sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but this dyslexia, you know how it goes. Hello, Trent. I just wanted to say that when it comes to Naomi, yes, she has a big nose, but the moment I heard this woman speak, I was instantly captivated. Her voice is like a siren, and it's so soothing and calm. She overall is a beautiful person inside and out. I totally agree with you. For those who missed it, go check yesterday's episode 558. Hear about Naomi's story, the woman who went viral for having a very big nose. And I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that. She even said it too. It is abnormally big. But what a strong, insightful, powerful woman, refusing to let negative comments on social media get her down and use that to make herself feel stronger and empowered. Like, whoo! Such a vibe, man. What an inspiration. Okay, let's go over to social discussion now. And I'm really interested to hear what you guys think about this. So, the disrespect. Young Thug calls Glorilla ugly AF in leaked jail call. Young Thug was in prison keeping the chat line hot every single night. In a newly leaked call, he can now be heard speaking on Glorilla. As we previously reported, calls from Young Thug's time in jail has been appearing out of thin air. Within the last few weeks, we have heard audio of him speaking on Gunna, Lil Durk, Kendrick Lamar, P from Quality Control, and now he's adding Glorilla into the mix. Thug first brings her up and questions why people say she's pretty before expressing that she is ugly as F. In his opinion, Mariah, his girlfriend, originally questioned his views, then states that people often say Glow resembles Rihanna. Thug disagrees, saying Glow is more of a Brianna, and laughs it off as he keeps going on. Okay. What's interesting is Mariah's response. She agrees that Glow probably has men in her DMs, but she also says she doesn't think these men would deal with Glow if she was a regular person and she was not a chart-topping superstar. Megan and Glow shared the stage together in June in Atlanta, so this timing sucks. Okay, I'm going to play a small clip of the jailhouse leak call. It's up on our Instagram in full if you want to check it out. I'm going to read you the apology. Oh, actually, Glow's answer, the apology from Thug, and then we'll get into this discussion because I have an important question. Take a listen to the cell phone call. Sorry, not cell phone call. The jail leaked call. Take a listen.
I saw the girl, Gorilla.
Yeah.
Why don't people say she pretty? That be ugly.
You think she ugly? They be saying she look like Rihanna.
Man, be like goddamn Brianna.
All right. Well, of course, this went super viral. Glorilla jumped on Twitter and she said, mind you, this the same N-word blowing my phone up to ask me what color my eyes is, laughing out loud. Then, I mean, first of all, that's a thing right there. Thug is in a relationship. Now we find out that Thug has been called in Glow, asking her what color her eyes are. I don't know what's going to happen with Mariah with that. But then Young Thug jumped on Twitter and said, first of all, I'm sorry to you for my words, and I honestly don't think you're ugly at all. I was speaking from jail, just having a hard time with life. I do not like bashing girls and hardly ever do. I'm sorry to you, twin. Okay? So that's what he put out. Now, here's the social discussion of the day, okay? I want you guys to really listen to this. We all get on the phone, or we are in a text group, or we're sitting outside, at a barbecue or at the barbershop, and we talk differently than we would talk on a platform. Doug was in jail, sitting down, doing nothing, fighting for his life. And all these keep on saying cell phone, and all these jail calls have been leaked, which we still don't know who's doing this attack on him, but I digress. And I get that it's hard to hear that. I get that it's hard. But should he really be dragged for some of these things? Because we have all said this about artists. Like, people will say, anyways, I'm not even going to say it because I don't want to say get canceled or get whatever, but people say things differently when they're talking on their phone with their girl at 2:00 in the morning or whenever his cell phone, where his jail time was, 7 p.m. or whatever. You talk differently. And I just feel like he's getting too much of a hard time. And if we were to get into some of y'all's text groups, even people who are on YouTube or have podcasts or whatever, some things you'll say on a podcast and you'll say things differently in your text group. I'm a little different. I'm going to just, you can believe me or not, but I'm super real. Whatever I say here, I'm like 99.999% say. But even there are some things that I'm like, yo, I'm not going to say that. You know what I mean? So it's just, I just feel like he's getting too much of a bad rap. Y'all let me know, sound off. Do you think it's all fair game? He said these things that he should be canceled and he should, be hated. And, people like Joe Budden are saying, yo, his career is over. Let me know, sound off below. These were supposed to be and meant to be private phone calls between him and his girl. Sound off below and let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to question of the day. Who the F declines calls and texts people, what's up? Okay, this is me all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I think I've told you guys this before. Don't call me, man. Like, I can't stand when people, that's very rude, man. Unless you're somebody that like I talk to every day, my mom, my sister, if a girl who I'm talking to, that's different. You call me whenever you want. But if we don't talk normally, you can't just pick up the phone and just call me like that. That's rude. That's like coming up to my door and ringing my doorbell and be like, yo, what up? Like, that's what I think. And I know people are going to sound off because we've covered this topic before where it's like, that's what a cell phone is for. Cell phones have changed now, guys. People before, or for example, when there was just house lines or before cell phones, you didn't carry your cell phone around. So you carried your cell phone with you, or you turned on your cell phone with you, like when you were like walking out the door or when you were out, or like when nowadays your cell phone is at your hip. So I think it's rude. And I agree with the people that are, I'm just like, decline. But I won't decline and then say what's up because I'll just make you feel like I just missed your call. But I'll be right by my phone and just click decline. Somebody says a person that don't feel like talking to the phone, and I'm that person. Another person said a Libra. She said, listen, after talking all day at work, this is me. Another person said me faithfully. Another person said me because the F you want. Okay, I love that everyone's agreeing with me. Somebody did that to me, then I blocked them. I was conducting interviews and half of them forgot they applied. Okay. Somebody said us Scorpios, because who authorized this call? Stop calling for textable things. That's another thing. Oh my gosh. Half of the calls are textable. My dad will call me to just tell me the time of something. But whatever, I get it. He's older, so I let him slide. But that drives me nuts. He'll call me and be like, hey, yeah, I'm thinking about like having you guys over for dinner, let's say like on Thursday or Friday night, okay? I'll let you know when I talk to your sister and stuff. I'm like, okay. Could have been a text, but you're calling to say hi. He'll call back like a half an hour later. Okay, it's on Friday, 6 p.m. Bro, that's a text, man, And then he'll call back like an hour later. Okay, it's actually, instead of 6, it's 6:30. Bye. Like, jeez, man. But anyways, he hates texting. Anyways, somebody says, me, don't ever call me all the time. I haven't seen one person said this was rude except for that person who's doing job interviews. Anyways, I'm glad we're all on the same page. I ain't calling you, don't call me, send me a text. Again, if we're within the vicinity, in the closeness, call me all you want. Sound off below and let me know what up. All right, y'all, that is a wrap for me. All right, I think we had a good show, got a little bit longer. A couple of you in the comment section will be like, yo, how come these shows are being so short? I'm trying to make them a little bit longer for y'all. We got the comment section back. I'm listening to y'all. I'm listening, all right? I hope you guys have a great weekend. I might do a show on the weekend, this weekend. I do have a little something cooking up. You might see me, you might not, maybe alive. I'm cooking, all right? So stay tuned for that. If not, I'll see you regular time Monday. And have a great weekend. Before I let you go, just want to remind you to scan the QR code right here beside me. Sign up for Aura. If you've ever wondered if any of your information, personal information has been put online, you can find out for free with Aura in 14 days. And not only could they find out and let you know, they'll also remove it all for you for free. Sign up and check it out, okay? Also, before I let you guys go, just want to remind you of all the ways to keep up with the Trent Out Loud show. For those of you who like to listen on podcast platforms, we're available on all of them. Just head on out to your favorite platform, type in Trent Out Loud, the show will pop up. Don't forget to hit the follow and subscribe button. Also, we are on video. So for those of you who love video, like how I do, it's the best way for me, the most fun way to digest our show. Check us out on YouTube. Just head over there. 4 things I'm going to need you to do. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Please, please, please comment. I do the show by myself. I ask you guys a lot of questions, so I need your feedback. If you don't answer, I'm here just talking by myself, all right? For those of you who do not feel comfortable commenting, that's totally fine. Just shout me, hey, Trent, what's up? Listening from a country or city. I love to see how global this show is. And for those of you who want to follow me, if you're really enjoying the show, please try to share it with your family, friends, and loved ones because it helps them grow in the channel. For those of you who want to follow me outside of the show, I'm available on all social platforms, and it's always the same handle, Trent Out Loud. I'm the most active on Instagram. And speaking about Instagram, you need to follow the Trent Out Loud show on Instagram. As I've been telling you guys all week, I now have help. We are active on there, posting almost like every hour, giving you up-to-date stories, giving you snippets from yesterday's show. So if you missed the show, you might see some snippets up there, but you're getting up-to-date information that we talk about here on the show. And you'll also see longer formats of videos like the jail leaked call that we'll play 10 seconds here. We'll play the whole thing up on the Trent Out Loud show on Instagram. So make sure you follow because we are working hard for you. All right. Shout out to K. That's it. Have a great weekend. I'm very excited for this weekend. I'm normally excited to chill and party and whatever, but I'm cooking up this weekend. I got some surprises coming for y'all. Trust me, things are looking up. The summer is done. I'm done with the relaxing. I'm done with whatever. I'm getting back to work. Cooking up for you guys. I'm very excited. So stay tuned. You might see some things from us this weekend. Like I said, maybe not. All right. If not, have a blessed weekend. Have a great weekend. Be safe. I'll see you soon. Peace. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trent Out Loud. Peace.